This video is not going to be for everyone, but if you consider yourself to be an angry light worker, I'm going to share with you my personal experience. Now, I'm not talking about angry at people in general, that's a whole nother conversation, but if you find yourself angry at your guides and angels, maybe even throw in the title God, for this life that you were given, I'm going to share with you the things that I learned on my journey. I was normal up until the age of 34, and I tried to leave this place, and that's when Archangel Michael appeared. Then I started receiving all these angelic visitations, having out-of-body experiences, and my life turned into the paranormal supernatural show, kind of overnight. And in 2019, after doing all this healing, I felt like I was just getting on my feet, and that's when I went through a major divorce and had to, sell my dream home to move in with my old man as I'm turning 40, every guy's dream. And not only that, I became aware with these new child support payments that a job I'd worked at for 22 years was no longer capable of supporting me, and I was going to have to reinvent myself, and I had absolutely no energy and I had absolutely no desire to continue playing this game of life. But I was shown in 2014 from Archangel Michael that was no longer an option. So in 2020, I hit an all-time low, and this led to a very dark path, you could just say. It started with having a fallen angel attached to my aura because my guides wanted to show me. I had so much anger towards my guides and angels for this life that I was given that I had a fallen angel attached to me for 18 hours. And I wish I could share the energy of how I felt as this thing was being cleared from me by Jesus 18 hours after I was sitting in a chair, from the evening till the morning, not moving. All these images of hell flashing through my mind as every muscle in my body was flexed. And after Jesus cleared this thing from me, I literally had to get on my hands and feet and crawl to my bedroom and up into my bed because I had absolutely no energy. And, I was shown where that path leads to. And it's the best way to describe it would be, imagine a version of you that's so angry that you're standing here and there's a version of you right here that's so angry that you're afraid to be around yourself. So if you're an angry light worker, if you're angry at your guides and angels for this life that you've been given, that's where you find yourself. Here's the thing, you got to stop beating yourself up for feeling that way. Okay, you have to love that aspect of you. And what a lot of people don't know is that the reason why they feel that way, that at anger, is because a lot of souls that came from out of town to come here were not necessarily told the truth. How do I know this? Because on October 20th, 2020, after I had that fallen angel attached to my aura for 18 hours, I had a visitation from the soul of Jesus when I was having a shower. And what I didn't realize, what happens when the soul of Jesus comes at you, it's so loving that it just melts any stupid energy around you, and you're seeing through new eyes and you see things differently. And after this, I just started to remember being a soul before I incarnated here. I remember talking to angels and guides, and I remember being basically, swindled into coming here. I was telling them that this life path they gave me was not a good idea, and they're like, no, you can handle it, don't worry, you'll be okay. And in 2014 I tried to leave, and in 2020 I wanted to leave more than in 2014 when I actually tried, but I was shown that's no longer an option. So I had to take out that frustration on my guides, and it got to a point where I remember I sat down and I heard one of my angels say to me that they were concerned that I'd crossed over to the dark side. And it was very strange because I just felt this surge of rage go through my body, and I blinked. The next thing I knew, I was in the astral realm, and I was just this black cloud of smoke, and this hand formed, and I reached through dimensions and I grabbed this angel by the neck with the intention of taking his life. And that's when Archangel Michael yelled at me and told me to let him go. So I did. But when it comes to being angry for this life that you were given, the way to get over that is to love that aspect of yourself, understand it, respect it, honor it. instead of just walking around beating yourself up for feeling that way, understand that deep down, if you don't have a memory come back to you where you've been shown that you were, kind of screwed over and coming here, trust me, a lot of souls that came here were lied to. So accept that. Now understand, where you are, what the name of the game is. If they're trying to stop people from opening up your heart, maybe opening up your heart is the answer. So stop beating yourself up. If you're a light worker that's angry for this life you were given, when I found this out, I started astral projecting. And, let's just say I did some pretty gnarly things to my highest guide. And the next thing I knew, Archangel Metatron opened up a portal in my garage and actually tried to take me out of this physical reality. That's when, once again, I blinked and just saw myself pulling out a sword and placing it through this portal right between the eyes of Archangel Metatron. And that's because he's involved with a lot of the lies and deception to get individuals to come here. And he's responsible for a lot of good light workers that came here that fell into, becoming very demonic beings because they couldn't handle the BS that they were told by Metatron and his little cronies. Lord Shiva is not a big fan of Archangel Metatron. But anyways, stop beating yourself up. Make peace with yourself, Walking around every day being angry and resentful for this life is no way to live. Let go of that anger. Learn to open up your heart.